friends. It's Miss Weber here, and, of course, remotely, we'll be checking in on Miss Johnson as well. Well, today's a big day. We haven't bridged this topic yet, but it's a big one, which is why this will be one of 2 volumes, if not 3. We'll see how it all goes, my friends. But we're talking about color! Now, color is a pretty important part of our world. I remember Morgan saying once that a long time ago, everything in the world was in black and white. Now, that's simply not true, as adorable as that may be. But the reason why she thought that was because a long time ago, everything was photographed or filmed in black and white. It's simply because they didn't have the technology to process things in color. So, luckily for us, even a long time ago, we were still seeing things in color because of something called light spectrum. Now, you ever seen one of those pretty rainbows right after it rains and the sun comes out? Well, those raindrops are splitting a light spectrum, which is why you occasionally see a rainbow, or maybe even if you're lucky enough, a double rainbow. The light spectrum always is a rainbow. It's not refracted by the raindrops, so we see that color as white, which is white light. Now, light is fast, real fast. We've hit the sound barrier, but we've yet to figure out how to travel at the speed of light. If you wanted to travel at the speed of light, you would have to be going 186,000 miles per second, which is how the light from the sun is able to get to Earth so quickly. Well, this light spectrum, it makes it so we're able to see different colors. Certain light waves move faster or slower. For example, when the light hits something that's red, those color waves take longer to get inside of our eyes. Color waves like purple, they take a little less time. And for some reason, the cones and the rods inside of our eyeballs react differently to different colors. Some make them happier than others, I guess. That's maybe why we have different favorite colors. Or maybe it's just because our eyes enjoy the speed of light waves. So let's talk about these peepers right here. They're not just for gazing into. They're made up of some pretty complex stuff. That black spot in the middle of your eye, it's actually a hole. And inside that hole, light is able to pour into, and it hits these things called cones and rods. We have these 3 cones inside of our eyes. Some animals are fortunate to have even more cones than that. Some of them have 4 or 5. And maybe some of them have less. But human beings have 3 cones. One cone is responsible for seeing red. The other one is responsible for seeing blue. And the other one is responsible for seeing green. And depending on if something we're seeing is yellow or purple, I guess it's just bouncing through a few different cones at the same time. Then we have those poor peeps that are colorblind. Well, in reality, a lot of people who are colorblind can see color. It's just, there's something that's just not quite right in those pupils. Sometimes it's a deficiency of the cones. Colorblindness mainly affects men, which is why some colorblind people can see different shades of brown and greens. It's just not the same colors that we see. And there are some very unfortunate people that are just looking at the world like one of those old school movies. Oh! What happened? The cones and the rods inside my eyes seem to not be working correctly. What could be out here? It's a light spectrum! Look at how those light waves are bouncing through my pupils. Observe the glorious pigments! Colors are a big part of our world. We use colors to navigate when we're driving. What about a stop sign, guys? So, in the light spectrum, white is the combination of all colors, and black is the lack of colors. So at nighttime, when there's no light, that's why everything looks black. In art, it's a little different because art colors are created by something called pigments. And I don't mean a pigment is a fine type of powder that can be derived from several different things. You can have metallic pigments, you can have organic or biological pigments, which are made from things like plants or animal cells, or you can have earth pigments, which is stuff that's derived directly from nature. These are those brown colors. Some metallic pigments that are derived from metals can be a little hazardous. And a long time ago, they thought that some of those loopy painters might have had a little too much contact with stuff like cadmium, cobalt, lead, and mercury.
I'm not crazy, you're crazy.
So, color theory in the arts. Why is it important? Well, because colors really affect the way that a viewer sees a piece of art. We've already talked about how certain colors can make you feel happy, can make you feel sad, can make you feel angry. Artists use that to their advantage. We got something called the primary colors. Think on it, think on it, think on it. You got it? There are 3 colors: red, blue, and yellow. These 3 colors are colors that can't be mixed. Primary means 1. Then there's another set called secondary. So when you're in the 2nd grade, you're in grade number 2. Think of it like that. Yet another math thing. You got an equation. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Take one primary color, like red, add another primary color, like blue, and you get a secondary color, like purple. Purple, orange, and green are all secondary colors. And as fanciful as this may be, considering everything that we've learned about the light spectrum, the color wheel is arranged in rainbow order.
Good morning, guys. So I just heard from Miss Weber.
Ouch!
And she's busy working on a new video about color theory. Well, color theory can seem kind of boring. Why do I need to learn all this? But it can be a lot of fun if you think of it as colors coming together to make new colors. It's like getting new friends or increasing the number of crayons in the crayon box.
I love you.
6 feet!
So I'm going to show you a little bit about mixing colors, but let's see them in action. Okay, ready? So down here I have the 3 primary colors. And if you remember, I'm going to give you a second to guess. How do you get a secondary color? Guess what? They have to reach out and make friends. So red's going to come over here and meet halfway to yellow. Yellow goes, hey, I want to play. I'll meet halfway. And look what happens. When yellow and red come together and make friends, they create orange. Orange is a secondary color. Let's see what happens when our friend red comes over here and wants to make friends with blue. What do you think's going to happen? And it makes a purpley color. Now our last one, yellow and blue, what do you think's going to happen? I'm pretty sure they're going to make another secondary. Let's see. Yellow's going to come over here and blue's going to go, yay, let's play. And look what happens. You get green. So now we have orange, purple, and green. These are our secondary colors, and they all came to be because the primary colors decided to reach out and make friends. So when you take all your colors and you put them in this formation, it's called a color wheel. A color wheel helps us when we go to do paintings. It helps us to figure out how we're going to mix the colors that we need. Now there's another little tricky part. Secondary colors can make friends with primary colors. And when they do, yellow and yellow-orange come together, they make an intermediary color. Intermediate. So now you get a primary, a secondary, and an intermediate. Isn't that cool? Get a red-orange.
It's not quite red and it's not quite orange. It's right in between, an intermediate color. And now, let's see what happens when red and purple come together. Let's remember that purple is a stronger color. It's darker, so we're going to put a little bit in. And look what we get.
A red-violet.
We have red, violet. We're kind of mixing things together a little bit here. Let's clean this one up a little bit. Now let's see what happens when violet and blue come together. I bet they're going to make a beautiful color. Okay, ready, Mr. Blue? Come on over here. There's some blue. Take a little bit of the violet and put it together. And look at this deep color that we get. It is a red-violet.
Blue-violet.
Now let's get Mr. Blue all situated. I wonder what's going to happen when we get blue and green together. An intermediate color there. Let's take a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, and we get a
Blue-green. And
there's another intermediate color. And our last one, when yellow meets up with green, let's see what happens there. Got yellow, get a little dry. Some yellow, got some green, and we get this great.
yellow-green. Now look at this whole family of colors just because they reached out and wanted to play together. And you know what? If you get really clever, there are colors that happen when you mix these two together that happen in between there. You didn't know you could make so many colors out of just 3 primaries.
E.T. fold out. So these pigments, they make their debut on canvases and papers throughout time when added with the correct binder. Now, I'm not talking about a binder like a Trapper Keeper. That is so fetch. Although that was good stuff back in the 90s. I'm talking about something that combines something else to make it a usable substance. So depending on what material you're using, you're probably using something with a pigment and making decisions on how it should be put together based on the light spectrum going into your pupil and affecting your soul. But maybe we all see color a little bit differently. Maybe what I perceive as red looks a little bit different to the next person. We really don't know because we can't share our eyeballs and we can't share our reactions to light or pigments for that fact. Project ideas for bigs and littles. Try drawing a picture of a landscape. Change the color scheme. For example, draw a beach scene with red water and green skies, or draw a purple forest. Use construction paper and cut out many different shapes in only the primary colors or the secondary colors. Glue it to a background. See what happens. Draw a room in your house. Use different shades of one color as much as you can. How does it change the mood of the room? Use a printer to print out 4 photos of yourself. Cut them out and glue them in a grid. Color the faces and the backgrounds crazy colors.
Go paint. Make great art. Be healthy. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. I miss you and love you.
Stay happy, stay healthy, and make great art. I love you.